Hi, how are you doing today? I hope that you are doing well and I hope that you are staying safe. So today we are going to be doing Robert Hansen, also known as the Butcher Baker, one of the most prolific serial killers from Alaska. And since he didn't have a last meal, I wanted to create two dishes based off of him and his crimes. And so I came up with doing a blackberry cobbler, since that's a very, big dish in Alaska. So why not just utilize some berries? And also it's perfect timing for Thanksgiving, so that way you can bring a little bit of true crime flair to your Thanksgiving family gathering and have a little bit of sprinklage of true crime facts when people ask you where you got this recipe from. So I also just wanted to address that I have listened to your comments and I have listened to your feedback from the first video. So instead of sprinkling the true crime facts in little subtext or like text on the side, I would like to talk about it a little bit more and just put the recipe in the description below or on my Instagram or both. I don't know yet, but I hope that you hit that like button and that subscribe button and that you enjoy this video. And I also want to hear more feedback on what you guys would like to see or what you guys would like to hear more about. So let's get to this deviously delicious dish and dish about this serial killer.
Warning, the following video is for mature audiences only.
Obviously, look at the recipe below. But I just want to say all the ingredients that you will need. You need 1,800 grams of blackberries, 50 grams of oats, 50 grams of granulated sugar, 50 grams of brown sugar, 1 stick of butter cubed, 150 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 egg, some vanilla extract, and a lemon and a baking dish, and also a dish for mixing. So now that we have all of our mise en place out of the way, let's get into Robert Hansen.
So now let's dish about Robert Hansen's early life. He was born in February 15, 1939 to Dutch immigrants in the small town of Esterville, Iowa. Hansen was super intimidated by his strict father's domineering personality, but he completely respected him and his passion for baking and his career. And one day wanted to grow up just to be like his dad. When Hansen was growing up, he suffered from a severe stutter and very bad acne, and people would describe him as scrawny, shy, and a loner. Yet he craved the approval of girls in his high school some young men do. And he had little luck and was shut down, and this kind of created a dark cloud over his head where he would hunger for revenge and have morbid fantasies about killing these women for rejecting him. But he found a better pastime than to fantasize and would hunt wild game, which he was actually pretty good at. But soon we will actually talk about how this harmless pastime became his method for murdering unsuspecting sex workers in our next part of this series. But for now, we'll continue on with his early life. So he graduated high school and enlisted in the Army Reserves, but later faced another rejection by being discharged less than a year later. So he became a drill instructor at the police academy and met his first wife, but she filed for divorce shortly after they got married due to Hansen being sent to jail for 3 years because he burnt down his old high school's bus garage in 1960. He actually served 20 months of the 3-year sentence. So, and while he was in jail, he was diagnosed with schizophrenic episodes and bipolar disorder. So, yeah. But that didn't stop Hansen from meeting the next love of his life, Daria Hendrickson. She was a school teacher, and they married in 1963. So he kind of had that perfect image of, the most wholesome family. He had 2 kids, living the American dream. So they moved to Anchorage, Alaska in 1967, and he opened his own bakery in 1969, following in his father's footsteps, giving him a huge confidence boost. Robert was known as Bob the Baker in his community and was super well liked. Even state troopers and cops alike frequented his bakery. I feel that this gave him so much confidence to commit his heinous crimes. So one of his first crimes that he committed besides, arson, he actually attempted to kidnap Susie Heppard at gunpoint. She was an 18-year-old college student, and he followed her home. He was facing charges, but, he was free and walking about. So during this time, he actually abducted a topless dancer, threatened her by gunpoint, and told her to write down her family's address so that way, if she ever were to speak, he would kill her. She actually came forward on Christmas Day. Once, she found another topless dancer had been missing because she thought that this man was definitely it. But she was completely shut down by the police because she was a topless dancer. And that's what all of his friends and that's what his minister said. Like, you're going to trust her over him? So the cops were like, oh yeah, no, she's a known drug user. She's a topless dancer. So, like, why would we trust her over him? Which kind of really pisses me off because sex workers are never taken serious. But, like, let's take a quick break to talk about the bake. So you're going to want to bake this at 375 for 50 minutes.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for supporting this series while the cobbler is baking. And if you want to see some more stuff, make sure that you leave a comment, leave some feedback, or just like tell me what you liked or tell me if you tried the recipe. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button to see more videos like this. I'm going to try to upload twice a week, Serial Killer Saturdays, or when I'm going to upload the Devious Dinners content. I mean, this whole channel is called Devious Dinners, so everything is content by Devious Dinners. But on Wednesdays, I'm going to try to do regular recipes. So if there's any food questions or if there's any recipes that you guys would love to see, let me know. And then if there's any true crime people that you would love me to cover and make a recipe for, also let me know. Make sure that you hit that like button, show some love. Also, check out my Instagram because you'll get some updates about me recording. So yeah, other than that, thank you guys. I'm going to get back to cooking and show you guys the end result. So I just checked my cobbler and there was like 3 dry spots. So I just took a little bit more butter, like a little tiny slice, and then I just finished it on top and I just put 5 more minutes on the timer. It is almost ready, guys. I promise you.
So back to our pal Bob the baker. He ended up not actually serving a full-time sentence for the abduction of Susie Hepburn. He only served 3 months of a 5-year sentence due to good behavior and proving to the warden that he was completely cured from his mental illness. So not only did Hansen do all those crimes, he also abducted a 17-year-old girl outside of a coffee shop and raped her at gunpoint. While he assaulted her, he said that he was a successful businessman and that she was just a child, so no one would believe her. I feel like this was due to his power trip from getting off from his earlier crimes so easily. But not only was he a rapist, he was also an avid klepto, and he would brag about the thrill that he felt and the power that he got from stealing to his coworkers. Actually, in 1976, he tried to steal a chainsaw and served 16 months on a 5-year sentence, yet again getting out early. So, yeah, I mean, this man is very interesting to me, yet he repulses me because, he got off scot-free and pretty much, and these women were not brought proper justice. And we are going to dive deeper into not only other women not getting justice, but his murderous spree. So I'm looking forward to sharing this with you, and I cannot wait to share more details about his crime. So we are going to get into the juicy details next part of this series. But for now, I hope that you enjoy me plating up this really beautiful berry cobbler inspired by his upbringing, inspired by his career. And we are going to top it with a chantilly cream. If you didn't know what I was making earlier, it was just whipped cream that I added some powdered sugar and vanilla to. The recipe will also be linked down below. So I hope that you really enjoyed baking with me and learning about this serial killer.
So we finally finished our berry cobbler. So fun fact, I actually came up with a recipe a couple minutes before filming the video. So I don't even know what it tastes like just yet. But I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. Before, I take my bite, I just want to say thank you again for watching and taking the time to spend time with me and, enjoy what I create. And I hope that you guys try this recipe. But first, let me just taste test it, okay? So we're about to try it. Oh my God, it's crispy. Do you hear that crunch? I'm sorry if you hate the sound of people eating, but that crunch is amazing. And to be honest, I don't love sweets that much, but I could eat a whole freaking, I could eat the whole thing. It's so good. It's so tart. It's sweet enough because the top is like perfectly crispy. I don't care if you don't like butter, you have to use it for this recipe. Or use vegan butter, but like this is the most freaking bomb thing I think that I've ever made pastry wise, if you can consider it a pastry. But this is by far the best cobbler I have ever made. I am so astounded. Like, But on that note, I hope that you hit that like button and liked this recipe as much as I did. And I hope that you subscribe to see part 2 of this Robert Hansen series. And, you know, I hope that you have a happy Thanksgiving if I do not see you until then. But I really love the support that you have shown me today. Thank you so much for sitting through this video and like listening to me ramble about true crime. It means a lot. But make sure that you follow my Insta for more updates as well. Sorry to be saying all of my links and all that, but I love you and I hope that you have a killer day. Bye, guys.